Hey guys, it's John here. Welcome to part 9 of my DVD collection. And I was sort of looking ahead, of how much I have left. And the good news is I'm going to get done within 10 parts. So this part and one more part, and that'll be it in regards to my DVDs. And then next weekend, I'll bang out the last part and my Blu-ray collection. And that'll be it as far as collection videos. So what I did is I added a little bit more to this pile. So either this part will be a little bit longer, or I'm going to try to speed it up. We'll see where it goes. But here we are with part 9, kicking off with a great action film, and that's The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Kick-ass movie. Dolph Lundgren's great as Frank Castle, and I know a lot of people gripe about the t-shirt thing, and really I don't care because Dolph Lundgren's great. Louis Gossett Jr.'s great support. The Punisher, great action film. So I got that. Next up, Mr. Saturday Night with Billy Crystal. Comedy, which I haven't seen, but directed by Billy Crystal. So, commentary up here by Billy Crystal and David Paymer, and 3 featurettes. So I have to give this a watch at some point. Next, we have a really good film, A Time to Kill, with Sandra Bullock, Samuel Jackson, Matthew McConaughey, Kevin Spacey, directed by Joel Schumacher. Really good dramatic film. Great performances. So, yeah, great movie, A Time to Kill. Got that. Next up, a great 90s action film, Broken Arrow. John Travolta, Christian Slater, directed by John Woo. Yeah, I love Broken Arrow. It's one of my favorite John Woo films. Great score. No features. But, yeah, John Travolta is great as the villain. Yeah, Broken Arrow is great. Next up, Sleepwalkers, and I haven't seen this one, believe it or not. Directed by Mick Garris. No bonus, no bonus materials really, but cameos by Clive Barker and Stephen King. So yeah, I do have Sleepwalkers. Someday I'll check that out, or you can let me know about it. Next up, Running Scared of Paul Walker, which I've only seen bits and pieces of this one. I remember Paul Walker being very good in the film. It's just one of those I haven't really seen all the way, so I have to give that a watch at some point. But Running Scared, excuse me. Next, and it's funny because I think I mentioned this earlier when I talked about Joe Pesci comedies, but we have Gone Fishin' with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. I remember seeing this on TV back in the day, but I don't remember much about it. It's been that long, but maybe someday I'll give this a watch. But yeah. And that director, Christopher Cain, it sounds familiar. I want to say it's the same guy that directed Young Guns, I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, Gone Fishin' with Joe Pesci. Comedy, got that. Next up, a great drama, Deadpool Society with Robin Williams, directed by Peter Weir. Great movie, great cast. Robin Williams puts on a great performance. It's just a great movie. It's inspiring. So yeah, Deadpool Society. No features. I don't know why, but I miss Robin Williams. Next up, Airplane. And the DVD is a little bit cracked right there. So maybe I need to get a Blu-ray or something. But definitely a comedy classic. And this is the Don't Call Me Shirley edition, which has a commentary by producer and writers and director Includes deleted scenes, a trivia track. But yeah, Airplane. You imagine this movie came out today, people would throw a fit. But moving on, we have Trapped with Kevin Bacon. I haven't seen this one. You got Charlize Theron, Courtney Love, Stuart Townsend, Kevin Bacon. I want to say this is the one where Kevin Bacon's character gets castrated. I've heard something about that from this movie. I think it's this movie. I've never seen it. But for the Kevin Bacon collection, I do have Trapped. So I got that. I think he's a villain in that one. But next up, Selena, Jennifer Lopez. Really good film. Good biopic, sad story of the singer Selena, who unfortunately got shot. And great performance from Jennifer Lopez. Sad story. Yeah, Selena's a great movie. Tragic. Next up, another Jennifer Lopez film, which I haven't seen. Enough, starring Jennifer Lopez. You also have Billy Campbell in the film, Juliette Lewis. No features, but someday I'll check it out. Enough, Jennifer Lopez. Next up, which I have to check out this one still. I haven't seen this one yet, but we have Pain and Gain with Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg, directed by Michael Bay. You also have Anthony Mackie in the film, Tony Shalhoub, Ed Harris. Good cast. Yeah. Pain and Gain. Still have to watch that one. Next up, Sleepy Hollow. Definitely, to me, Tim Burton's last great movie, and I know people might disagree with that, but yeah, Tim Burton, this is a great Tim Burton film with great performances. I actually remember seeing this for the first time when I was like 10, and it creeped me out for some reason. I don't know why. This one, maybe it's the beheadings and all that in this film, but on the features, you have commentary by Tim Burton, a behind-the-scenes featurette. So, yeah, Johnny Depp. Sleepy Hollow is a great Tim Burton movie. Next up, Contact with Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey. This is one of those that I would like to rewatch. Like, I've only seen scenes here and there, haven't seen the whole film. So, yeah, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Yeah, I do have Contact. So I got that. No features. Next up, The Elephant Man with Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt. Nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Great movie. Sad story about the real Elephant Man. Features, yeah, The Elephant Man Revealed. Christopher Tucker's Workshop. Directed by David Lynch. You think there'd be more features, but The Elephant Man's a great movie. Definitely give this a watch if you haven't seen it. Great classic movie. Next up, we have Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery. And you also have Harvey Keitel in the film, Cary Tagawa, Tia Carrere, you have Mako. I haven't seen this one, Rising Sun, so you can let me know about that one for the Wesley Snipes collection, Rising Sun. So I got that one. Next up we have this 2-movie collection of the Homeward Bound films. Homeward Bound, the first one, and Homeward Bound 2, whilst in San Francisco. I remember the first one. The second one I haven't seen in such a long time, but I remember the first one being very good. You know, one of those classic Disney films. But I do have this double pack. No features, but the Homeward Bound films I do have. Next up, Watchmen. And I haven't seen this movie since it came out. I saw this in the theater when it came out, and I don't know why, but it's just I haven't really seen the film since. It's a great movie. Excuse me. And directed by Zack Snyder. It's cold. But yeah, I don't know why I'm tired. But Watchmen is a great movie. I need to rewatch it. So, I mean, when did it come out? 2009? It's been that long since I've seen the film. But Watchmen is a great movie. Probably my favorite Zack Snyder film. Yeah. Watchmen is great. Next up, we have this triple feature. This Ernest triple feature of Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scares Stupid, and Ernest Goes to Jail. I have Ernest Goes to Camp already on a separate DVD, so I may get rid of that one. But this is a great triple pack. I miss Jim Varney a lot. I think I have all the Ernest films. There's maybe one or two that I don't have, like Ernest Goes to Africa. I don't know if you could find that one. I do have Slam Dunk Ernest. I don't know how many of these he made. Probably around 6 or 7 of them, but you know, a good triple pack of Ernest, and Scare Stupid is really fun, so I do have that one, triple pack. Next up, we have Practical Magic with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. You also have Diane Wiest in the film. Features, you have an interactive cauldron game, unlocking 2 behind-the-scenes documentaries, a making of, audio commentary by Sandra Bullock and the director, producer. Might be interesting, but I haven't really seen this film all the way, so yeah, Practical Magic, I tried watching one time, I think, and I don't remember much about it, but for the Sandra Bullock collection, I do have that. Oops. Actually, let me do this. Get a few right here. Sort of get them ready. Next up, Frankie and Johnny with Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer. This is a good flick. Good romance type movie. And yeah, directed by Gary Marshall. I thought these two you know, Michelle Pfeiffer and Al Pacino had good chemistry. Yeah, Frankie and Johnny's a good one. So I got that. Next up, Into the Storm, which I haven't seen, but I found it for cheap a while back. But yeah, I have to check this one out, so I do have Into the Storm. So I got that. Next up, Presumed Innocent, the Harrison Ford. This is another one I haven't seen. Harrison Ford in the film, Bonnie Bedelia, Paul Winfield, Raul Julia, Brian Dennehy. Great cast. Some People Would Kill for Love. Yeah, I need to watch this one, Presumed Innocent. Have to give that a watch. Next up, The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou with Bill Murray. You also have Owen Wilson in the film, Kate Blanchett, Angelica Houston, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum. I remember watching this one time. It was sort of a bizarre film, but got a couple of chuckles. I need to go back and rewatch this one, so yeah, The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. So I got that one. Also another Bill Murray film, The Man Who Knew Too Little. Yeah, I got this one. I've seen the Blu-ray out there, and I don't know why I've never picked... I mean, I saw it at Best Buy a while back, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up, but, you know. This is one I haven't seen. I know he's like a spy in the film. He's on a mission so secret, even he doesn't know about it. We got The Man Who Knew Too Little. So you can let me know about that one. Next up, which I think I got this on a Black Friday, and it's still in the pack, and that's Sausage Party. Yeah, I've never seen this one. I know it's in a animated film, voices by Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Bill Hader, James Franco, Dana McBride, Paul Rudd, Edward Norton. So yeah, someday I'll give this a watch. So, comedy, Sausage Party. I got that. Next up, which is a cool DVD to have, we have this Michael Jordan set. 2-disc, 5.5 hours of highlights. This 2-disc set contains 5 fully remastered best-selling Michael Jordan programs. Filmed at various points during Michael's legendary career. A comprehensive look at the life and career of this true American icon. A lot of bonus footage, and yeah, it's really neat. I'll show you. I pulled it off the pack. So yeah, really cool to have. You know, if you're a Michael Jordan fan, definitely recommend you pick this up. It looks like this. It says Ultimate Jordan and 23, but a really good set for Michael Jordan fans. So we got that. Next up, which I don't know why this is still in the pack. I'll take it off right now. Actually, it's about to come off anyway. There you go. But we have Blazing Saddles, which I've only seen a little bit of this one. Now, believe it or not, I know I should give this a watch immediately, but it's just one of those comedies that I've only seen a little bit of. I haven't seen all the way. You do have a couple of documentaries up here, and then a commentary by Mel Brooks, a digital transfer for the all-new 30th anniversary of the film. So yeah, Blazing Saddles. I do have that. Get these ready. Let's see what I can do here. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have Money Talks with Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. You haven't seen this one. Directed by Brett Ratner, so it has to be right before he did Rush Hour. But yeah, Money Talks. I do have that one. Next up, we have Race to Witch Mountain with Dwayne Johnson. I know this is a remake. I mean, I've heard of the early films. I haven't seen the original, the Witch Mountain films, whatever. But, you know, for the Dwayne Johnson collection, when he's not doing shitty movies or making shitty decisions, I mean, I know this is a kid's film, but, you know, I've heard some decent things about the film, so I do have that. Race to Witch Mountain. Next up, my favorite Pauly Shore film, In the Army Now. Yeah, very funny. Pauly Shore is great. You also have Andy Dick in the film, Lord Petty. Just a really fun movie. David Alan Grier. And my favorite Pauly Shore film, In the Army Now. Definitely a lot of fun. So I got that. Next up, we have The Bone Collector with Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. I remember this being so-so. I mean, the performances aren't bad. It's just like, it's kind of something you've seen before. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the film. Again, it's not badly made or, badly acted. It seems like an episode of a crime show that you've seen before. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the film. But, yeah. The Bone Collector, decent movie. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just decent. Next up, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood. And, I love Clint Eastwood. Big fan. And I need to get more of his westerns. I mean, I have a few like The Outlaw of Jersey Wales, Pale Rider, Hang 'em High. And there's some others I'd like to pick up, but I do have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So, no features, but definitely a classic. Next up, The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei. Still have to check this one out. I've heard a lot of great things about the film. And for the Mickey Rourke collection, so I have The Wrestler. So I got that. Not much for features. Next up, a fun movie. Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. Yeah, this is a comedy that no one really talks about now, but if this film were to come out nowadays, people would throw a fit. People would start a petition, start a band. It's just... This is when comedies did not give a shit about people's feelings. I mean, I'm just being honest, but that's the truth. I mean, if you make a film like this now, people would bitch and complain. Just like with Ford Fairlane, but Ford Fairlane's a great movie. I'm just saying, like, what today, how people are. Bachelor Party is a great movie. Yeah, I mean, it's a great comedy that nobody talks about much. Really fun. So I got Bachelor Party. I wonder what Tom Hanks thinks about that film now. Next up, really good film. Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. And I saw this film for the first time, I think, this year. And just a really good film. Nobody talks about this one, too. Great performance from Adam Sandler. And if you think Adam Sandler can't do drama, watch this film. Just a really good movie. Reign Over Me is great. Great performances. Let's put it over there. Next up, American Beauty with Kevin Spacey, Annette Bening. It's not a bad movie. It's a weird movie. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those films that it's well acted, it's well directed, but I think I saw it once. It's one of those films maybe you'll watch once or twice, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just a little bizarre now with the Kevin Spacey crap, and it's just again, it's not a bad movie, but it's just not a film that I rewatch much. But I do have this. You have a behind the scenes feature right up here, commentary by director and writer, storyboard presentation with a commentary by director. Yeah, American Beauty, it's one of those movies that, it's a well-made film, but, it's not one that I watch much. I don't know how to describe it. But next, we got Everly, which is still in the plastic. And I don't know why. Hey, I think I got this at the $3 bin at Walmart. I was curious about the film. Selma Hayek. I think that's how you say her name, but yeah, I still have to give this a watch. Everly. I was curious about the film, so I've heard good things about it. But I do have Everly, so I got that. Next up, We have The Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. And I remember liking this film the first time I saw it. I saw it once, and I haven't really seen it since, but I remember liking the film. You also have Meryl Streep, Liev Schreiber, John Voight, Jeffrey Wright, Heather Levine. And I know this is a remake of an original film. You got 5 deleted and extended scenes with optional commentary, some outtakes, some other commentaries, screen tests. Yeah, The Manchurian Candidate, so I got that. Next up, Just Cause with Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne. And I remember this being a decent flick. I saw it once last year, I believe. You also have Ed Harris in the film. But, yeah, Just Cause, I remember liking the film. So I do have that. No features. But I always like these snap cases. I'm a big fan of that. And the disc is... Okay, that wasn't a disc, it was a book. But I love the snap case. But yeah, Just Cause. And, let's see, moving on. Grabbing a few off the top. Doing good on time. Maybe too good on time, but we'll see what happens. Next up, Arachnophobia. Jeff Daniels, John Goodman. Definitely a great spider flick. A great creature feature. Directed by Frank Marshall. I wish we could have seen, maybe a sequel to this. It would have been cool. No features. I don't know why. Not even for the Blu-ray, there's no features. I don't understand that. But Arachnophobia is a great movie. 90s classic. Next up, Body Double. This is a great movie directed by Brian De Palma. And I need to give this a watch again because I like the performances, but I also appreciate the direction and the tone and the score, and that song Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood I think came from this film. And it's a great sort of erotic film. Definitely one that you should see for yourself. But Body Double is really good. Yeah, really good film. I think I reviewed it a few months back. Next up, we have The Burbs with Tom Hanks, directed by Joe Dante. Definitely a classic, one of my favorite comedies. I don't know why this doesn't have a special edition of some sort, no features at all. It's just a great comedy, with Bruce Dern in the film as well, Corey Feldman, Rick Dukeman. It's unfortunate some of this cast, has passed away if you think about it. Carrie Fisher, Tom Hanks' neighbor in the film, he's passed away. But still a great movie. I actually saw this in the theater last year, which was very cool. I love The Burbs. Well, probably my favorite Tom Hanks film too. Great comedy. See, next up, another great comedy and one of my favorite comedies. What About Bob? With Bill Murray, Richard Dreyfuss. The stuff I've heard behind the scenes, how these two guys didn't get along, and it really worked out well because, they were great in the film, and they had such a great chemistry. I love What About Bob? Why can't this get a special edition? I don't know why. Have Richard Dreyfuss talk about the film. Have Bill Murray talk about the film. Frank Oz, who directed the film. Yeah, What About Bob is a great 90s comedy. I love the film. Next up, Saving Private Ryan. And this is another one that I haven't really seen all the way through. I know Yeah, it's a long movie, almost 3 hours, but maybe someday I'll give this a watch the whole thing. It's just I've only seen bits and pieces of the film, but Saving Private Ryan, I do have that. Next up, Blended with Adam Sandler. For the Adam Sandler collection, I haven't seen this yet, but have to give this a watch. And I like, Sandler and Drew Barrymore. They've made a couple of, Wedding Singer, 51st Dates. I enjoyed both of those films, so we'll see with this film, Blended. So I do have that. See if I can get a little closer. There we go. Next up, classic, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Great movie. And this is the Bueller edition, which has the cast talk about the film, the making of, who is Ferris Bueller, vintage Ferris Bueller, the lost tapes. And funny enough, I actually saw on TV a while back, it may have been this year, it was like a 3-hour documentary on this film, and it was really interesting. I wish I had some way of, recording that, but it was on A&E or something like that, or some channel. It was like 3 hours long, and they really went in depth on this film, and I thought it was really good. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off, great movie. Next up, which I don't know why this is still in the plastic, I really enjoyed this film, and I actually like it more than the first, and that's Deadpool 2. Yeah, I think I got this on Black Friday, but I love Deadpool 2. Like I said, I think, to me, I prefer it more than the first one. I really enjoy the action. I like Josh Brolin in the film as Cable. But, yeah, Deadpool 2, great comic book film. Moving on, we have Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but I do like this film. Also directed by Tony Scott. Yeah, I need to watch this one again. Maybe I'll watch it today, but yeah, Days of Thunder, really good film. Tom Cruise. Let's see. Getting a few of these ready. Next up, we have Raising Cain with John Lithgow. And this is a good flick where he has a split personality in the film. Also directed by Brian De Palma. Some of the supporting cast is not a strong point, but I like John Lithgow in the film. I thought he did a good job with his performance. But yeah, Raising Cain. If anything, watch it for John Lithgow. So, Raising Cain's a good flick. Do have that. Next up, we have this double feature of the Grumpy Old Men collection. You have the Grumpy Old Man films. I need to watch these again. I remember these being fun. Rest in peace to both Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. No features, unfortunately, but okay, it's funny, right? Grumpier Old Men, rated PG-13 for salty language and innuendo. Have you ever heard of that before? But salty language. What does that mean? What's salty language? Yeah, but the Grumpy Old Men collection, I got that. Next up, Heathers. Definitely a great 80s movie. Features, you got audio commentary with director, producer, and writer. A new 30-minute documentary featuring interviews with the cast. Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, Shannon Doherty, along with director and producer. So, good features. Yeah, but Heathers is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. So I got that. Next up, A Few Good Men. Another great movie, classic. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. directed by Rob Reiner. One of my favorite court dramas, and probably one of my favorite dramas. So, A Few Good Men's great performances, and very quotable. But next up we have Holloman with Kevin Bacon. A great movie, directed by Paul Verhoeven. You also have Elizabeth Shue in the film, Josh Brolin, and I know there's like a new film coming out, The Invisible Man, but this film did it first. Well, you can say the original Invisible Man did it first, back in the 40s. But this is a great film. You know, this new Invisible Man film won't top this movie. Kevin Bacon did it before you. But Hollow Man is great. I haven't seen the sequel. I know it stars Christian Slater, but I'm in no hurry to watch it. Next up, Gangster Squad. And I got this for cheap a while back. Great cast. I mean, you got Josh Brolin, Ryan Gosling, Nick Nolte, Sean Penn. You have to give this one a watch. Yeah, Gangster Squad. So let me know about that one. Next, we have this Steven Seagal collection pack of Under Siege, which I have on Blu-ray too. But I wanted to keep this for the other films: The Glimmer Man, Above the Law, and Fire Down Below. A great Seagal pack of his early films, and there's a couple I would like to get: Hard to Kill and Marked for Death. I've seen those, but I don't have them. Believe it or not, oddly, I don't have those. But this is a great 4-pack. Again, I already have Under Siege on Blu-ray, but you know, for the other ones, I'll keep this. So, yeah, Steven Seagal 4-pack. I do have that. Next up, Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, with Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, John Leguizamo, and you know, decent little comedy. I mean, I know it's pretty much these three guys are in drag throughout the film, but you know, a fun little movie. It's a harmless movie, so I got that. And I heard some stuff behind the scenes with this, like John Leguizamo and Patrick Swayze didn't get along. I don't know, I heard something like that or read something about the film, or maybe it was from that Patrick Swayze documentary that I heard that. I don't know, but yeah, this decent comedy. Next up, and I don't know how this got cracked. Let me investigate here. But this is a great movie. I don't know. I don't think it's on Blu-ray. I would like to get it on Blu-ray. If it's on Blu-ray. Cuffs with Christian Slater, and again the DVD is cracked, so I may have to get a new one. But I love Cuffs. Definitely a great movie. Christian Slater. I love the sense of humor in this film, and this is one that not many people talk about, but I love Cuffs. And again, I hate that my DVD, I don't know what happened there, it got crushed or something. But Cuffs is a great movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Next up, Joe Somebody with Tim Allen. I remember I saw this back in the day, but I don't remember much about it. So that's probably a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But you also have Jim Belushi in the film. Yeah, I'm a Tim Allen fan. You know, I'm a fan of Tim Allen's work, so I do have Joe Somebody. Got that. So you get a few ready here. Let's see. Next up, we have Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. I saw this a while back. Well, like a month or two ago. I mean, I make it seem like a while back, but yeah, I saw it like a month or two ago, and I really enjoyed this film. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. Very intense performance. Bill Paxton's good support. Rene Russo's good support. Yeah, if you haven't seen Nightcrawler, definitely give it a watch. I recommend it. So I got that. Next up, great movie, Reservoir Dogs. And again, a great movie. Special features, you have deleted scenes, all new interviews with the cast, director tribute, a focus on Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, a retrospective look, documentary. Yeah, I mean, not my favorite of Tarantino's, but still a great movie, great cast. Reservoir Dogs, I got that. Another pile right there. So next up, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, another great movie, directed by Steven Spielberg. And this is one that doesn't get talked about much now, it seems like to me, but well directed, well scored, great performance from Richard Dreyfuss. And I know there's a better DVD out there that has features and more to it, so I may pick that up or get a Blu-ray. But Close Encounters is definitely a great movie, so I got that. Next up, Speechless with a Michael Keaton and Gina Davis, directed by Ron Underwood. And I haven't seen this one. You also have Christopher Reeve in the film. Now think about that. You got Batman and Superman in the film, and it's not a Justice League film. It's a romance comedy, probably. It's a rom-com, or is it just romance? Really produced by Rennie Harlin. Rennie Harlin produced this, and the same guy that directed Tremors directed Speechless. And you have Batman and Superman in the film, and it's not a Justice League film. But yeah, I do have this for the cast. So Speechless, I got that. Next up, Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner. Definitely a great movie. What more can you say about this film? No features. Yeah, no features at all. But definitely a classic. So I got Field of Dreams. Next up, Kickboxer, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Classic Van Damme film. Definitely one of my favorites. No features, I don't get it. And I had an opportunity to see this on a big screen this year, and what happened was I already sat down, I went to this theater where they replay old films, and I had already seen TMNT and Hackers, and I'm like, I don't want to get back home so late. They were playing Kickboxer at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, damn, I could have seen this on a big screen. So I don't know why I didn't. But Kickboxer is definitely a great Van Damme film, great 80s movie. So I got that. Love Kickboxer. Next up, New Jack City, which I've never seen. And this is the 2-disc special edition. You got some good features up here. So you get the lowdown on the making of the movie with the cast. Commentary by director and co-star Mari Van Peebles. So yeah, New Jack City. I have to give that a watch. You can let me know about some of these too. Some of these I haven't seen, let me know about in the comment section. But next, we have this double feature of Quigley Down Under and Rob Roy. Quigley Down Under is a great movie with Tom Selleck. Great Western from the 90s. I've seen a little bit of Rob Roy. I haven't really seen the entire film, but this is a cool double pack to have of Quigley Down Under and Rob Roy with Liam Neeson. So I got that. Next up, great movie. Next of Kin with Patrick Swayze. Yeah, I enjoyed this film. Entertaining action flick. Good cast as well. You got Helen Hunt in the film, Bill Paxton, Liam Neeson, and they're actually brothers of Patrick Swayze's character in the film, which is cool. But yeah, Next of Kin. No one really talks about this film much, but definitely a good one. So I got that. Next, really fun film, The Money Pit with Tom Hanks. This is another one of those comedies that people don't talk about much, and you don't see Tom Hanks talk about his early comedies like The Money Pit and The Burbs and Dragnet. You don't see a whole lot of people. You don't see Tom Hanks talk about those much. I don't know why, but Tom Hanks, he did some good comedies back in the day. Bachelor Party, Turner and Hooch. Joe versus Volcano is weird. That's a bizarre one, but The Money Pit, definitely a fun movie. So I got that. Next up, which I have not seen these films, believe it or not, and I got them on a Black Friday. But we have the Kill Bill collection. Yeah, I've never seen the Kill Bill films. I've only seen it at the most, like one or two scenes from the movie, the first one on TV, but, I wanted to wait so I could see these back to back. Yeah, still in the plastic, so I do have to watch these. So I do have the Kill Bill films. Got that. Next up, 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. Well-made film. Robin Williams is creepy in the film. Definitely a different performance. A dark film where he keeps track of this family. I wouldn't say spy, but stalks. That's the word I'm looking for. He stalks his family. He's a photographer, developer, photo developer. Yeah, 1 Hour Photo, definitely a dark film. And I do recommend it, so yeah, great movie, 1 Hour Photo. And I know it seems like I'm kind of going through these, but again, trying to not make it too long, trying to get some ready. Let's see, I got some right here. Next up, we have Mask. Definitely a great movie, great dramatic film based on the true story of, I think Dennis Rocky. Yeah, no, I got it backwards. It was Rocky Dennis, a real, real life person. Sad story. Features never before seen footage incorporated to the film. Included 2 major sequences. Mask revealed, a conversation with the director, feature commentary with director. And this is a great movie, Mask. Definitely should watch if you haven't seen. I also have, we have Eric Stoltz as the main character, Cher, Sam Elliott. Great drama. So I got that. Next up, we have School of Ties with Brendan Fraser, Chris O'Donnell, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Haven't seen this film. And it's funny because, you think about it now, these actors are still big somewhat. I mean, Brendan Fraser, Chris O'Donnell, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Well, Chris O'Donnell's doing NCIS LA, but all these actors, this is back in what year this came out? 92. So, but I do have this film, School of Ties. Still have to watch that. Next, great movie, Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. Again, just a great movie. Love this one. Bonus features, you have how the movie came to be, music of the film, the origin of the Good Morning Vietnam sign-on. Yeah, this one's a great one. I want to get this on Blu-ray. Robin Williams is great. Did he win the Oscar or something for this? I want to say he did. Or was nominated, but yeah, Good Morning Vietnam, great one. Next, another great comedy and also another one of my favorites, The Great Outdoors with John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. This is a comedy that I grew up with. Grew up with this film, Uncle Buck. Yeah, I miss John Candy a lot. And it'll be cool to see a special edition of this film. You know, have Dan Aykroyd come in, do a commentary maybe. But The Great Outdoors, love this one. Again, one of my favorite comedies. Great movie. Next up, Dark Places with Charlize Theron. Haven't seen this one, but I like her as an actress, and you know, for the collection, I think it was cheap, so do have Dark Places, so I got that. Next up, for the Sandra Bullock collection, Love Potion number 9. A fun little movie, you know, decent little romantic movie, I guess comedy, romantic comedy, but you know, I like Sandra Bullock. I mean, she is my favorite actress. I have most of her films, so yeah, decent little movie. Love Potion number 9. So I got that. Next up, we have The Natural. There you go. Can you see that all right? It's kind of bright. With Robert Redford. And have to watch this one still. You also have Glenn Close in the film, Robert Duvall, Kim Basinger, Wilford Brimley. Exclusive documentary featuring Cal Ripken Jr. The Natural with Robert Redford. Still have to watch that. Next, Miracle with Kurt Russell. And I know this is based on a true story. It's the inspired true story behind one of the greatest moments in sports history, the 1980 United States ice hockey team's triumphant Olympic victory against the Soviet Union. So, I have to give this a watch at some point. Don't you fall, damn it. But yeah, I do have Miracle and Kurt Russell. Next up, Hook with Robin Williams. And I actually had the Blu-ray in my hands this morning when I went to the store, but I didn't grab it. I wanted to, I guess, wait. But I'm fine with the DVD, you know, right now. You know, Hook is a great movie. Again, I miss Robin Williams a lot. But I do have Hook. No features, unfortunately. Don't get that, but Hook's a great movie. Next up, Small Soldiers, directed by Joe Dante. Yeah, this is a good flick. I mean, not my favorite Joe Dante film, but, you know, there's other films I prefer that he's done, like The Burbs and, you know, both of the Gremlins films. But Small Soldiers, you know, good little film. You know, I had fun with this back in the day. It's a childhood favorite, so Small Soldiers, I got that. You do have Behind the Scenes, and that's pretty much it. But a good, you know, little flick. Next up, Wake of Death with Van Damme. I haven't seen this one, but I've heard a lot of good things about the film and for the Van Damme collection, so I will have to give this a watch. Oh, I do have Wake of Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme, so I got that. Next, definitely a holiday favorite, Jingle All the Way. Love this one. I'll definitely be rewatching this for the month of December. Another one of those films that I grew up watching, during the holidays. And I actually remember back in the day, I remember picking up the tape at Target, like when it came out, but again, just a fun movie. Extended director's cut with footage not shown in theaters, the making of the film with featurettes. But Jingle All the Way is a lot of fun, and this is the family fun edition. So I do have that. Next up, Patriot Games with Harrison Ford, and I haven't really seen this one all the way. No features. I know this is the Jack Ryan series, but you have to watch this one. So yeah, people will be surprised of how many films I will pick up, but I haven't seen yet. So I have a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, Patriot Games, I got that. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff I have to catch up on and watch. This next one I have seen, and it's a great movie. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey. Really good movie. If you haven't seen this film, definitely give it a watch. Jim Carrey puts on a great performance. Great supporting cast. I thought the idea was really interesting, and it's well told and has some good moments that sort of has a good heart to it. But yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, definitely a great movie. A different kind of movie from Jim Carrey, but a really good one. Next up, Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. Not a big fan of this one. I much prefer the reboot with Carl Urban. I got some problems with the film, but I can still watch it as a time waster. But yeah, Judge Dredd, I got that. No features. Again, a time waster. Next, Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox. Decent comedy for the Michael J. Fox collection. I remember liking this one. You also have Julie Warner in the film, Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Doc Hollywood. So I got that. And there's some other Michael J. Fox films I would like to pick up. Let's see. Next. Getting these next few ready. We have Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater. I need to check this one out. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. Talk Hard, Still the Air. No features. But yeah, Pump Up the Volume. I got that. Let's see. Next, a fun movie. Mr. Destiny with Jim Belushi. You also have Linda Hamilton in the film, John Lovitz, Michael Cain. Yeah, I remember this being a fun movie. Jim Belushi was good in the film. Yeah, Mr. Destiny is a good comedy, so I got that. Try not to let that fall. Let's see. Can I smooth this over a little bit? Yeah. That didn't work, but oh well. I tried to move it slightly. Didn't work. But next up, Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Good flick. And this was actually a gift. Features, you have the making of the film, original screen test footage, deleted scenes. But yeah, Tootsie, good flick. Next up, we have Zathura. And still have to check this one out. I know it's sort of like in that sort of, I wouldn't say universe, but kind of a spiritual sequel to Jumanji in a way. But yeah, I do have Zathura, so still have to watch that. Next up, Snowden with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And got it for cheap a while back. I mean, I was curious about the film. Still have to watch this one, so I do have Snowden. Have to check that out. Next up, Surrogates, Bruce Willis, for the Bruce Willis collection. Still have to watch this one too. Again, there's quite a bit I haven't seen, but yeah, I do have Surrogates. Not a lot of features, but let me know about this one, Bruce Willis. So I got that. Next up, While You Were Sleeping, with Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman. You know, decent little movie. I mean, again, it's not a genre that I go to a lot, but you know, I like Sandra Bullock as an actress. You know, she's my favorite actress. So, yeah, While You Were Sleeping, you know, decent little movie. Next up, Sudden Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Solid Van Damme film. You know, good action. Directed by Peter Hyams, who directed Time Cop before this, and why am I drawing a blank? But Outland, he directed that. End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, great director. Yeah, Van Damme was great in the film. I like the idea of, you know, this sort of Die Hard in a hockey rink type movie. Powers Booth is a great villain. But yeah, Sudden Death, good action flick. Next up, Independence Day. Definitely a great 90s film and a classic. I would like to get the Blu-ray of the film. You know, definitely a hell lot better than the sequel. I know that much. Definitely a hell lot better. I don't know why we needed a sequel to this film. It wasn't needed. But a great movie from the 90s. Next, Wild Hogs. Fun movie, fun comedy with the fun cast. And I actually saw this in the theater when it came out back in 2007. But yeah, I mean, I know there was talks of a sequel, you know, like soon after the film came out, but it never came to be. It would have been fun, but I'm just satisfied with this one. So Wild Hogs, fun little adventure comedy. Next, Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks. Good little Tom Hanks comedy. I mean, I much prefer the Burbs or the Money Pit, Dragnet, but this is still a good one. Turner and Hooch. So I got that. No features. Next up, we have Killing Gunther with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I know all this stuff. I've heard about this film, that it's bad, that it's garbage. So sometime I'll see it for myself, and I'll see what happens. I have a bad feeling about this film, but if I ever do a rant, I do have Killing Gunther, so for the Arnold collection. So I got that. Next up, The Faculty. Definitely a good flick. Directed by Robert Rodriguez. Good cast. You know, good little sci-fi horror film. The Faculty. No features, but I do have that. And getting down to the last few here, if I can grab them. There you go. So this is the last little bit of a stack here. Part 9. We have SLC Punk with Matthew Lillard. Still have to watch this one. Not much for features, but I do have SLC Punk. So I got that. Let's see, damn it. Let's get stuck. Next, The Sicilian, or Christopher Lambert, for the Christopher Lambert collection. Still have to watch this one. So someday I'll check it out, but I do have The Sicilian. I got that. Next up we have Videodrome. Definitely a great movie, definitely bizarre. It's a film that you should see for yourself. Directed by David Cronenberg. James Woods stars in the film. It's a really weird film, but definitely well made, well directed. Yeah, Videodrome, really good film. No features, but I want to say there's a DVD out there, or a better DVD that has features. I could be wrong, but yeah, Videodrome is great. Great horror film. Next up, we have 8mm with Nicolas Cage. Directed by Joe Schumacher. I actually like this one. Definitely a dark movie. Not many people talk about this film much now, but you have Nicolas Cage's character investigate this snuff film, and there's a murder. And I thought it was very interesting. And again, it's a dark film, but it's a really good one. So 8mm, Nicolas Cage. Next up, Dickie Roberts, former child star, and I actually saw this in the theater when it came out back in 2003. I can't believe it's been that long, but yeah, this is a fun movie. I actually prefer this a little bit more than Joe Dirt, but that's just me. I thought the idea was fun, good cast, nice appearances, but Dickie Roberts, fun little comedy. Next up, we have this triple feature, let's see, of Alaska, The Amazing Panda Adventure, and Born to Be Wild. I've seen The Amazing Panda Adventure, but it's been some years. Alaska, I haven't seen in quite a long time. So yeah, these are more for, like films from back in the day that I remember. But I do have this triple pack, again, of Alaska, The Amazing Panda Adventure, and Born to Be Wild. So I got that. Next up, great movie, Sneakers. Great cast too. You got Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, Mary McDonnell, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, and it's a nice little sort of heist movie. I want to mention the word like about hacking, but it's not about hacking. Sort of in that type of movie, like, I don't know how to describe it, like a cyber thriller, but yeah, Sneakers, it's a good little flick. So yeah, I enjoy Sneakers. Probably my favorite Robert Redford film. Next up, The Right Stuff. And this is the 2-disc special edition. So on disc 2, you got a lot of features. You got documentaries. You got 13 additional scenes, interactive timeline, interviews with the director, cast. Yeah, I still have to watch The Right Stuff. So I got that film. There goes that. Next up, we have this Michael Douglas 4-pack of Falling Down, A Perfect Murder, Coma, and Disclosure. All these films I like. I mean, Falling Down is a great one. Coma is a good one. Disclosure is another good one that people don't talk about much now, especially in regards to the plot. People nowadays would call it bullshit, but I like Disclosure. It's a nice little thriller. So, yeah, Michael Douglas 4-pack. So I got that. Next up, The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. Definitely a great comedy. In fact, I may watch this today, so I'll put it right there. But yeah, I love The Golden Child. Eddie Murphy. Great 80s comedy. Also with Eddie Murphy, I have this collection pack of 48 Hours and another 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. Nice double pack. The first one's great. The second one's a good follow-up. So I'm glad to have this in my collection. So I got that. Put that right there. Next up, we have this Clint Eastwood comedy collection pack of Space Cowboys, The Honky Tonk Man, Every Which Way But Loose, and Any Which Way You Can. So, yeah, this Clint Eastwood 4-pack. So I got that. Space Cowboys, Honky Tonk Man, Every Which Way But Loose, and Any Which Way You Can. So I got that. And there's some other Clint Eastwood films I'd like to pick up, that I don't have, that I would like to pick up. Next, Death Wish with Charles Bronson. And this is the only Death Wish film that I have. I have to get the sequels. I think there is a 3-pack out there that has the second, third, and fourth film in a 3-pack, and I want to pick that up, or get them separately. But this is the only one that I do have in my collection right now, so I have to get the other ones. Even the 5th one, just to complete. But in general, I like to get more Charles Bronson films, so I don't have a lot. But I do have Death Wish, the original, so I got that. Next up, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Definitely a great 90s action film. Gina Davis is great. Samuel Jackson, directed by Rennie Harlan. And just a really entertaining flick. Samuel Jackson's great. And Gina Davis kicks ass. And some nice quotes, lines from the film. But yeah, The Long Kiss Goodnight. I have to rewatch that one at some point. Love that one. Next up, Better Off Dead with John Cusack. Fun comedy. You also have Diane Franklin in the film. Amanda Wyss, who I actually have met before. A very nice lady. And yeah, Better Off Dead is a good one. Good 80s comedy. I enjoy it. Where's my $2? Next up, we have The Abyss, a great sci-fi film, directed by James Cameron. which I've heard behind the scenes, you know, it was kind of troubling because Ed Harris almost drowned, and after that, Ed Harris punched James Cameron in the face. And apparently not James Cameron, but Ed Harris, you know, doesn't like to talk about the film because of the behind the scenes stuff. But aside from that, The Abyss is great. Just a great sci-fi movie. And this is the special edition, which includes both the special edition with 28 minutes of additional footage plus the original theatrical version, commentary option for both versions, text only, whatever that means. But I love The Abyss. You know, great movie. And lastly, for part 9, Super Mario Brothers. A fun video game film, which I prefer this way more than, let's say, Street Fighter. But I can have fun with this movie. I think more so for the cast. You know, like John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. You know, Dennis Hopper is fun. Super Mario Brothers is entertaining to me. I know it gets crap sometimes, but you know, good movie. And that's it for part 9. So this was a little bit longer, but again, I wanted to squeeze in more so I can get these videos done. But so yeah, one more part to go with my DVDs, and that'll be it. So as far as the DVDs are concerned, so yeah, one more part with the DVDs, and then on to the Blu-rays, and we'll be finished. So thank y'all for watching, and have a good day.